It's another beautiful, glorious day here in the beautiful Puerto Cancun area. And I just wanted to come to you here. I was originally, at this moment in time, was going to walk over to the supermarket and just get a few bottles of water. And obviously, this wasn't meant to be. Now, what's very interesting is that if you walk over here with me, you will notice that there is this water fountain, and it's actually raining a little bit right now. Just a few minutes ago when I decided to go live, it started pouring rain, like a deluge of rain. I could not have walked out there without not having my hair just completely drenched. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what's the big deal about that? Why is she even bringing this up? Well, I've been saying it all along, and as you guys know, I'm in the pre-launch phase of my book, The Intuition Manifesto. And that book is all about unlocking your dreams and unlocking the intuition, which is your own inner guidance. It's the voice of the Creator, the Almighty, how He speaks to us to guide us to our ultimate golden path so that we can unlock the gateway to our dreams. And so I noticed a sign when it's put before me. So what's interesting was that when I woke up early this morning, as you can see, this water fountain right here has a pretty good sound of water, as you can tell. So you can hear the water fairly well, not just outside here. And it's beautiful. Look at the lighting and the colors, and this entire area is very filled with palm trees and greenery, and it's just a really lovely hotel. And so it's still kind of dripping from the rain, but I'm going to show you, I'm in my balcony here. And so you can clearly hear that water fountain really, really well. So when I woke up this morning, my first awareness was not necessarily of that water fountain. I immediately thought, oh, it's pouring rain. It's not just pouring rain, it's like a diluvian of rain. It's like an outpouring, a huge rainstorm, which is not uncommon for this area because it's the Caribbean. So I thought, okay, well, obviously I can't go outside because it's pouring rain, and not too bad, so sad. It's just I'm going to, when I first wake up, I have my little routine. As some of you who have not just met me in person, but people who have been on my YouTube channel, my Facebook Lives, and my private clients know, one of the first things that I prescribe to them is to do 25 long, deep breaths when they first become aware, before you even open your eyes. And then immediately after that, the PSMO method, and then you can go into your meditation. And there's a reason why we do it in that particular order. So as I became aware that I was starting to wake up, and as I paid for joining, so as I became aware that I was waking up and I heard the torrential rain, I thought, okay, so it's all good. It's obviously a lot of rain, and I'm not going to be going anywhere. And even though, they have breakfast here on the same grounds, and it's included with our room, I thought I may not even be able to walk over there because it's just pouring rain so hard. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it doesn't really matter because it usually takes me a while to do my 25. To this day, I have no idea how long it takes to do the 25 long, deep breaths, because however long it takes is how long it takes. And that is an investment that I do for me, because it is good for me. And so that's why I do it for myself. I see the benefits that I have received. And of course, those who are now doing the 25 long, deep breaths. I've even had this prescribed to people who are in ICU, that are on respirators. And this works if you work it. So that's another story altogether. So anyhow, so as I became aware of this kind of going on, I just stayed in bed and I did my 25 long deep breaths. Then I went into my PSMO. I did a modified PSMO, and then I went straight into, oh my gosh, I love the lighting here. I am just so enamored with lights and colors, and I love the fact that it changes hues here. Anyhow, I'm not being distracted. I'm just making a sidebar comic, as they say. Reds, pinks, purples, blues, greens. Isn't it gorgeous? So anywho, So as I was saying, I went on to do my 25 deep breaths, my modified PSMO. Then I went into a very long meditation, which is really my meditation is my medication, and it can be yours too. So I thought to myself, it's like, okay, well, I'm quickly going nowhere because with that amount of rain outside, I'm not going to go anywhere, which is fine because I'm going to do my meditation anyhow. And I try to stay in being nowhere, nobody, no place, no thing, and no time as much as possible. I'm mindful when I have appointments, of course, with private clients and so forth. I have Zoom calls, like we all have Zoom calls. But I didn't have anything scheduled today. The one thing I had at 4 o'clock, because I'm not in California, got pushed to the following Saturday. So I'm all good, right? So once I came out of my routine, but believe it or not, it was 1:51 p.m. in the afternoon by the time I actually looked at my cell phone clock to see what time it was. And I thought, wow, that was a really long meditation. I don't really know exactly what time I started. I know it was hours long. I just don't know how long. It doesn't really matter, right? I'm in no one, nobody, no thing, nowhere, no place, and no time. So I continued to move forward, and when I finally did get out and I went to go grab brunch, I went to the front desk and I asked the person at the desk, I said, listen, I wanted, just out of curiosity, I was wondering, did it rain this morning? And he said, no, not at all. It's been bright and sunny all day long. I said, interesting, because my perception was that it was raining the way it did just a few minutes ago. About 10 minutes ago, it started pouring rain. And now if you look out here, you hear the rain, which is not the rain, you hear the water fountain, but there really isn't any rain. There's a few drops that are dropping, obviously, from the plants that are here. And so you see, the sound of the water is 100% from this water fountain, okay? So it's not from any kind of rain. So I couldn't help but notice that I was getting ready to leave about 15 minutes ago, and of course, because it was pouring rain, now I can walk down my walkway here, and of course, I'm not getting doused. I just have a few sporadic drops of rain here and there, but it's not the torrential rain that was here 10-15 minutes ago. So now I can actually go if I wanted to go. So I already had my key in my hand, I had my purse, I had everything that I needed, and now I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to go. This is a sign that I'm supposed to do this video, and I kind of felt that the feeling that I had about that torrential rain was kind of a prophetic feeling that I had about the water just pouring down here. I just love these lights. I can't get over how beautiful these purples, pinks, blues. Oh, I just absolutely love it. In Italy, they have these same beautiful lighting everywhere, which I've been so enamored with, and I try to recreate as much as I can in my videos. This just happens to be the natural backdrop. So as I became aware of this, and I thought, that's funny, I thought I was going to go to the store, I was going to go buy some water bottles, come back here, and then work some more a little bit on my, different promotional things having to do with my book and things that I have to do with Kindle and with my right-hand person. I realized, okay, I got to do this video, and I think that sensing that I had this morning is really kind of a more prophetic kind of a thing, because it was bright and sunny all day long from the time I went out until now that I was getting ready to go, and then we had the downpour of rain. You can probably see that the floor is all wet everywhere. It's all wet. You can see here, this is all, you can see it's all wet. It's all dripping. Everything is like, the leaves are all like, you see all the drops of rain. So everything is like doused because it just poured down here. So I thought, how funny. So, and now that I'm wrapping up this video, it's not raining anymore. So check out this wonderful, let me show you. You see in my walkway how it's kind of like the Kundalini, kind of like the energy that goes up your spine. Isn't that interesting that it goes right up into my room? And I have a surfboard. Hello, I'm from Surf City, USA, and I have a surfboard right at my entrance. The other rooms, if you can tell, they don't have surfboards, but mine does. And I'm in, of course, A, part of the Canadian A. I'm in the letter A. So I just wanted to share those insights with you. I also wanted to share with you some other things. I had a private client that I was talking to earlier today, and I had some pretty interesting revelations during that as we were discussing all sorts of different things having to do with this particular situation and his present and his past and so forth. And you know, we're all connected. We're all related. We're all co-creating every moment in time with each other. And so one of the visions that I had as I was speaking to him was, I don't know, my brain works in a very peculiar, a very unique, very authentic way. So one of the revelations that I had was I saw a whole group of people inside a bar. And many of them were sitting at the bar, and then there were lots of people gathered around inside the bar, sitting at the table, all of whom, you know, you're in a bar, of course you're drinking, right? So as I was watching this scene in my mind's eye, I heard most of these people are anesthesiologists. So to the average person, you would hear that, you would think, oh, there's probably some anesthesiology convention going on. So all these anesthesiologists are on break and they're here hitting this bar. No, that's not what that meant. The moment I heard they're all anesthesiologists I knew inherently that most, not all, but most of the people that are there are wanting to numb some sort of unpleasant feeling. They're trying to get away and not feel something that normally feels bad to them. And that's why they take the liquid anesthesia in the form of a drink. Some of them, of course, take it in the form of a shot, but most of us will take it in the form of a drink. And I do say us. I don't have a drinking problem per se, but we have alcoholic genes on both sides of the family. I think that most people have on one, some of us have on both sides of the family. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed about. Everybody has, nobody's family is free of illness, disease, conditions, etc. I'm no different, no better than anybody else. So in my particular case, yeah, we've had people who have an issue with drinking, and it's not a big deal. So the bottom line is, so as I was realizing and recognizing this in this very graphic, very unusual depiction of how each individual person was their own anesthesiologist. By choice, they were choosing to have a drink, and some people say that alcohol is liquid courage. So this is not just liquid courage, this is actually a liquid that instead of taking it intravenously, they're taking it orally to sedate, to calm down, to numb the feeling of unpleasantness. It could be anxiety, it could be nervousness, it could be panic, it could be sadness, it could be just an ugly feeling of unease, a feeling of malaise. It could be any kind of negative, unwanted feeling, and that by drinking that liquid potion, they're now taking that edge off. And I'm not saying that everybody, but the majority of the people that I saw in that vision, that's what I sensed. And I thought, oh my gosh, that was so profound. So much so that I knew that I had to share that with you guys and come forth and share with you that vision. And so we are all on the path of self-mastery, of self-discovery. I said it when I was on stage at the pre-Oscar event in Los Angeles, where we gave Quincy Jones the Lifetime Achievement Award. The late Ryan Long, who is no longer with us, he passed away in March of 2020, not from COVID, but he was unfortunately hit by a car, a life cut way, way, way too short. But I had the wonderful pleasure of being on stage with not only Quincy and Volta and Halle Berry, but also with India Kinney Stearns, who's been to this date one of my best suppliers of guests for the show that I had, the Bottom Line Show Live, as well as Love and Money Secrets TV. That's not what this broadcast is really here about. But one of the things that I said on stage was that the only reason we are here, really, truly, is for us to love, to be loved, to give love, to receive love, and to learn the self-mastery of learning to put the ego at bay, to put the ego in time out, That is what self-mastery is. Self-mastery is not to be the ultimate supreme expert, the know-it-all, the guru, the greater than thou. No. When you learn to master yourself, which simply means you know to distinguish your ego, you have your egoic brain, and then you also have your ego, and then you have your brain, the two of which are not the same. So you have your ego, you learn to put your ego in time out. You have your brain that you learn to now master and to give commands to. And then you have your true self, which is your heart, your soul, that heart space, which is the you that has always been, that is always untainted, that always thinks the most loving things towards yourself, never has judgment, never has criticism, never has blame. It is part of, it's part of a system that I very, very, very rarely teach, which I think I need to start coming out and talking a little bit more about. On occasion, I've shared about how you have unconditional love, with unconditional communication, with unconditional truth. And in that space, it's a 360-degree space in which you occupy, where you show up without judgment, criticism, blame, no taboos, no rights or wrong, no attachments to outcomes, no attachments to how things are going to play out. You just show authentically how you are, and you are in a space of giving and receiving love without having any kind of emotional constipation. You are just in your truth, in authenticity, without the condition of requiring anything from anybody else. And you are responsible with the energy that you show up. You're also responsible for the energy that you allow to come into your experience. If it is not congruent with you, let's say, for example, you have an energy vampire that shows up into your experience, then it's up to you to allow that to stay in your space and taint you, take energy from you, or you can choose to do what's most loving for yourself, and you can remove yourself from that energy and continue to be in a very loving, self-soothing, wonderful place where you are resonating with beings who are of like mind, like soul, who are equally respectful, who have learned and mastered the art of getting their energy from above, from the light, from all the energy that is around you, not from other human beings, not by triggering another person and making them angry and then feeding from that energy, that someone who's angry and in reaction to you. That's, a lot of people like to trigger other people because they like to get your attention, and when they get your attention, now they have triggered you, and now they're feeding, that feeds their energy. You don't need to get your energy from another human being. You can get it from an infinite source. That's a limited source of energy. When you learn to get fed from the energy of the all, from God Almighty, I don't care what you want to label it, what language you want to label it in, English, Spanish, French, Italian, El Shaddai in Hebrew, Spanish, Dios, Mon Dieu in French. We have 72 names for God in Hebrew, so we're not going to go El Shaddai, Adonai, Elohim, anything with E-L at it. The name El actually is the name of God, which is why Israel means he who struggles with God, El. So God, that infinite source intelligence doesn't care what you name it. It doesn't care. What it cares is that you come to know it, be one with it. And so when you know that now you move up into an ascended place of being where you are heart-centered, you are unconditional love. You are unconditional love that receives the love and gives the love, that it flows effortlessly in and out like the waves of the ocean, in you, through you, and all around you, then that's when the magic begins. And let me tell you a little secret about magic. I know that there are some people who have issue with magic. Magic is just an acronym for manifesting, and they're manifesting according to God's infinite creation. Imagination is I. Magic nation. It's I manifest according to God's infinite creation in action. That's the Asian aspect of the word imagination. We have so many clues in our words, and we say them so often, and we hear chicken all the time. What does that taste like? Everybody says chicken. It could be escargot. It could be fish. It could be, you name it. It could be turkey. It could be duck, and everybody says, oh, it just tastes like chicken. Duck tastes just like chicken, just a little greasier. Turkey tastes just like chicken. Blah, blah, blah. And the truth of the matter is, sometimes we do that with words. And the truth is that we have a lot of clues in our words. Talking about the word manifest. Mani, as in manual. Fest, as in festive, as in Festivus. Remember the Seinfeld episode about Festivus, which is a celebration? So when you have a manifestation, that's a manual. That means that you actually did something, and now you are manifesting because you are manually exercising your free will to do something, which creates a celebration once you recognize that the manifestation has come in. Isn't that awesome? There's so many clues around us. Intimacy, into me, you see with your eyes. That's what intimacy is. When two people have intimacy with each other, is because into you, I see, into me, you see. So when someone is willing to be vulnerable with you and open-hearted, because it does take an open heart, in order for you to have the courage to let someone into your heart space, you have to be vulnerable. I just got off of a 7-day incredible coherence healing event here in Cancun with 1,700 mystics from 71 countries. I can't even begin to tell you. I saw people experience healings that were of biblical proportions. All 1,700 of us are healers. And out of the 1,700 of us that attended, there were, I think, 103. I think there was either 103 or 73 people who were selected as healees. That means people who have chronic and severe health conditions. A large number of them who are in wheelchairs. Not all of them. They're, people with every condition known to mankind. Many things that you've never heard of. Many people with multiple tumors that are cancerous, metastasized, Parkinson's, MS, you name it. And we actually witnessed with our own 2 eyes. I was part of a coherence healing. We were broken up out of the 1,700. We were all broken down into groups of 8 healers for one subject healee. And the one healee that I had, we did several rounds of this for 3 days. And one of the healees that I had, she was actually there from another country with her daughter. I'm like, wow, can you imagine the courage, the impetus that you had to have had to get into a plane with your daughter? Both you and your daughter are in wheelchairs. You're going to travel overseas to another country having faith that you're going to go get your miracle. And I don't know about you, but I'm an able-bodied person walking with 2 feet. And, it's taxing to pull around your luggage, albeit, I have my 2 pieces of luggage because I've got not only my clothes and all my personal belongings, but I also have my camera equipment that I lug around with because I do interviews. I still have private sessions, of which all my private sessions are 100% recorded. I also am an author. I'm a published author. So I'm always interviewing people as the opportunities arise. I have divine appointments that happen all the time. And I have to be able to capture those with video. Some of them with myself. Not that much with myself because my phone is constantly running out of space. So I have a lot of, I take care of documenting a lot of that with my Canon 80D, with my professional camera, which I carry on a tripod. But that means that I've got to carry, that's a lot of weight to carry. So I don't know how these 2 ladies, it was the 2 ladies, and I believe it was the mother's husband also came, but he still outnumbered 2 wheelchairs to 1 person. He has his luggage and the luggage of both of those ladies, so they still came. And of course the daughter was healed immediately, so much so that same day she gave away her wheelchair. How good can it get? I'll never forget when she told me She said, I gave away my wheelchair. I don't need it anymore. And then she said to me, look. And she jumped in place, left knee, right knee, jumping up and down, up and down, up and down. She goes, look, I can jump now. I can jump. She goes, I can't wait to go back. I think she said it was to Australia. Can't wait to go back to my daughter and tell her, look, mommy is healed. Mommy's no longer sick anymore. And I thought, oh my gosh. And then she said, look at my mom that you just did a coherence healing. Energy is moving into her hand. She can move her hand now. She couldn't do that before. And her mother was visibly touched, and she was weeping and sobbing when we were done with her. She had a visible energy. The energy was so powerful. I wish everybody could feel this energy. I really honestly could do everything in my power. And I know that there's a way. One of the things that I walked away from this particular 7-day event, during the middle of it, I had the knowing that I could transfer some of the mystical experiences that I'm having, that I could actually transfer it to others. And I thought, whoa, I knew that I could stack the energy of multiple events, of multiple venues, of multiple dimensions of experience, which is how a lot of the coherence healings, why the people who are this selected healee are feeling such like more energy than they've ever felt before. And it's not me. It's that I'm willing to be a fool. I'm willing to look absolutely ridiculous. I don't care what the human beings are saying. I care more about what the interdimensional beings, I care more about what the great I am, my creator, my relationship with God. Anybody who's offended with the name of God, get over it, because he's not offended by your name, so you shouldn't be offended with his. If you don't like the name God, call it infinite source intelligence. Call it the light. Call it the great architect. Call it the universe. Call it Gaia. Call it energy. Call it light. Call it whatever. Call it a surfboard. I don't care what you call it. It doesn't care, and neither does you. Neither should you. See, you don't have to be perfect to do what it is that I'm doing. If this resonates with you and you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to do what she's doing, then you know what? You're already on your path, because you would not be watching this video if that wasn't the truth. So I just want you to know that this is here for you, and this is this is a moment that you co-created. You and me together. We've created this moment in time. This is all perfectly sublime. This water, isn't it beautiful? The sound of the water, the rushing water, that's energy. Look at that. Of course, we came into the picture right when it's green, which is really the color of love, because your heart center, if you look at your energy centers, sorry, I'm wearing my bathing suit, a bikini, and a wrap here. But if you look at your energy centers, your heart center, that's green. That's love. There it goes again. I could not have timed this any better. And the purple, that pink, that is your 7th and your 8th energy centers. The red, that's your first energy center. So, my friends and gems, there's more green here all about us. And then, of course, we have all the greenery. Can't begin to tell you how sweet and how magical life is. You know, Bruce Lipton, he wrote The Honeymoon Effect. It's so amazing how everything can dovetail together. And I've been talking a lot about Bruce's book. Bruce was he's been a guest on my radio show, The Bottom Line Show, several times. And the last time he was on my radio show was just a few weeks before his book was actually out in paperback. Ooh, and I've got big drops of water falling on me. And the book, The Honeymoon Effect, talks about how you can create heaven on earth. And I am just so blessed, because I'm really living a life right now I've created heaven on earth, on this earth plane. Little did I know that I would be living this magical life right now, where it's like, how good can it get? I don't know, my friends and gems, but I'm here to tell you that it can get pretty good, pretty magical. And you know what? I'm not the exception. In the 7-day event that I went to, the week-long event that I went to, there were so many others who are living in this bubble of magic, where things are infinitely better. Things are magical. The divine appointments that we are coming into on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. This 2022, we all acknowledge that this 2022 year has a magical, different energy. There are spectacular things that are happening in 2022. Make no mistakes. And if you look for the magic, if you expect the unexpected surprises coming your way, not knowing what they are, because none of us know what they are. Doesn't matter. We don't know how, we don't know when. We continue to meditate every day because that's how we calibrate. That's how we calibrate our vibrational frequency. Nikola Tesla talks about, and I'm going to say talks in the present tense because his spirit and his energy is still alive. His body, his flesh and blood meat suit may have passed on, but his energy, his spirit is still alive, just like Gandhi's, just like Jesus, just like Martin Luther King, just like so many other greats, Napoleon Hill before us, W.C. Clement Stone. I could go on and on with so many others. Oh my gosh, the amazing mystic, one of my favorites, Neville Goddard, the great Bill Nasby. Wow, he is one of the ultimate golden eagles. He just left us December 17th of 2017. 17 was his number. My sweet fellow mystic, Reina Kavalenko, his wife. She'll tell you, he's still all around us. He's still mentoring a great deal of us who he mentored here in 3D. He still mentors us. And if you have a loved one who has left the earth plane, know that you can speak, you can know, you can feel them, they can guide you. Their energy. Love, once created, is never, ever, ever destroyed. Whether it's a child that you've lost, a loved one that was a brother, a sister, a father, a mother, a cousin, a best friend, a spouse, co-worker, they're all still here. And they're not dead. Their bodies, they've shed their bodies, but their spirit is still alive. So I want you to think about this. When you're vibing this high and you're having this much love and you feel the love in your heart, why would you let anybody come in and reign in your parade? You're the master of that parade. Why would you let anybody come in and stomp on you? There's no need to let anybody come in and stomp on it. You're the guards keeper. You can be somebody's garbage can if that's what floats your boat, but you don't need to let anybody rain on your parade. No, you get to choose. You're not a victim, you're a victor. Very much so, a victor. So tell me, do you choose to be victorious? Do you? Do you really choose to be victorious? So I want you to really become aware and recognize and realize that today is the youngest you will ever be. What are you waiting for? I say don't wait, create. What are you waiting for? Today is the youngest you will ever be. Are you waiting to learn to ride a bike? Are you waiting to learn to inline skate? Are you waiting to surf? Are you waiting to skateboard? Are you waiting to skydive? Are you waiting to learn to fly a plane? Are you waiting to live the life of your dreams? Are you waiting to heal? Are you waiting for somebody to heal you? Or do you recognize and realize right now that as I speak these words that you really have the ability to heal yourself? You really can, if you choose it. You know, there's a saying that says that when the student is ready, the teacher arises. I don't know if I'm the teacher that you're looking for. Only you can know that based on how my message resonates with you. And I would say, don't only look for one person. Be open to whoever the universe puts in your path. You know, my count, I only have 24 hours in a day, and true, although I am very fortunate that I'm able to get more done than the average individual, only because I will have to call back later, so sorry about that. But what I am here to tell you is check out the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's a great first start. If you're looking to heal yourself, get going with that. And then I would encourage you to check out the book, Intuition Manifesto. We're in the pre-launch phase right now. In the video here in the description, I'll put the Venmo or PayPal if you want to pre-order it before it comes out in Kindle. I'm going to encourage people to not just buy the paperback book. If you're serious about healing, You need a textbook that you are going to want to master. And this is an introduction. The Intuition Manifesto is a great place to start. My friends and my gems. Yes, I'm going to rest this here. Can you still see me? So use the Intuition Manifesto to get started on that journey. And then I'm going to tell you, you got to buy the book, not just in paperback, but also get it in Kindle form, because you're going to want to listen to it kinesthetically. I always look at things from a neurosomatic perspective, which has to do with the mechanical aspects of how your brain functions. You want a tactile experience the book, turning the pages of the book, having your eyes look at the left page and the right page. You also want to be having a conversation with me where you highlight with your yellow marker the things that resonate with you. And then as you speak to me, as you hear me speak to, when you're reading it out loud, because you want to use your voice to speak out loud, you're going to read it, and then when you have an aha, you're going to write in the margin of the book, aha, oh my gosh, this reminds me of, and then you'll put in there whatever it reminds you of. And maybe you'll want to email me, or maybe you'll want to text me through Facebook Messenger or through Instagram. Whatever the case might be, it doesn't matter. Whatever resonates with you most. Maybe in the YouTube channel, you'll want to put your comments. And then you're going to want to start to put into practice the things that I talk about in the Intuition Manifesto, and start to do the exercises to open your awareness and to open your intuition. That gateway will start to open itself up in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. So I'm going to just say, just go for it. And then, you know, one of my mentors, Brian Buffini, used to always say, if you give it out in slices, you'll get it back in loaves. I'm going to say that again. If you give it out in slices, in other words, slices of bread, give out slices of bread, you will get it back in loaves of bread. So I encourage you, buy a paperback copy for yourself, and then buy one to give away to a friend. Even better yet, follow the Nikola Tesla principle of 3-6-9. Buy one for you, two to give away. Give twice as more as you receive, and watch the magic begin. The reports that we're getting back from the beta group that tested and that read and experienced the Intuition Manifesto from the time their hands touched the book, and also those who got the PDF version, the ebook version, it kind of blows my mind. Everything from just money to opportunities to job changes to, it's nuts. I'm gonna have to probably hire somebody just to start to put all of that stuff into video form so that we can put those up as testimonials, because I can't keep up with it. It's just, and we're just at the beginning phase here. So I find that kind of wild, and at the same time, I had a vision about it, so I should not be so shocked about it. But it's very exciting, because more importantly, it is helping you, helping people like you with families like yours. So I can't say enough about that. So get started, my friend and gem. And I would encourage you to keep watching these videos. I have a dream recall hypnosis video, which is just a few minutes long. I want to encourage you to check that out as well, because it will start to help you unlock some meaning about you that in the past you weren't aware that you needed to pay attention to, but now you're going to be attention. You're going to start paying attention to it. I talk about that in the Intuition Manifesto, and how dreams play a part in your everyday experience. So check it out. And I want to end this in saying that, you know, I come from a Judeo-Christian background. So we've got Catholics in my family history. We've got Jews in our family history, and we've got Protestants. You know, I've got the Irish, the Scottish, so we've got the Presbyterians, we've got the Catholics, we've got the Jews as well. So I've got it all. I think we don't have any Muslim in our family lineage that I'm aware of. But that's not to say that we don't. It's just that I haven't identified it yet. But I have very dear friends who are. And it really is a matter of embracing all of who you are. And I just want you to recognize and realize that Jesus said, and all of the religions, this is one of the things that I love. I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person. Those of you who know me know that I just love people from all denominations, all cultures. I see you. I don't see your age. I don't see your culture. I just see you heart to heart, your soul. And it just oh my gosh, when I look at someone, I look into their eyes, it's like that soul recognition, which I just find so beautiful and heartwarming. And so I just want you to recognize that Jesus said, turn the other cheek. And I've talked about this in other videos. When you turn the other cheek, and let's say we're looking to the left, and I'm very mindful about the directions, there's always a purpose, it's not happenstance. I pick the left for a very specific reason because it aligns with our analytical thinking, logical, linear brain. So I'm looking to my left. I also recognize that, I know that on Facebook, it switches the image around, but this is my right and this is my left. So as I look to the left, to the unwanted. So as I'm looking to the unwanted, I am looking to the east as an example. And as I look to the east, I'm seeing things that I don't really want to see perhaps, maybe that are less than pleasant. And as I look to the left and I see people fighting, people I'm going to say this, people get their panties all wadded up into a bunch because this person wants vaccines, this one doesn't. This one wants masks, this one doesn't. This one believes this is the number one religion, this one doesn't. People think that they should be Republicans versus Democrats in the United States, or communists or socialists or blah, 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 blah. You know all the song and dance. None of that really matters, okay? So the truth of the matter is that's a lot of unwanted stuff. So I don't want to look at all that discord. I don't want all that mayhem. That doesn't make me feel good. That doesn't make me feel happy. That doesn't do anything to increase my vibrational frequency. None whatsoever. So what did Jesus say? He didn't say, oh, if someone hits you on the right cheek, turn the other cheek and let them hit the other side. That's not what that means. Now, I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid. My father is an ordained Presbyterian minister, practicing to this day. He's preached out of 198 countries. I'd say he's probably preached in 100 of 198. Hebrew, Bible scholar, speaks 7 languages, Greek, Aramaic, blah, 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 blah. So I know a little bit of Bible, not as much as him, of course. But really, what Jesus meant was, if you don't like what you're seeing over here, turn the other cheek. Oh my gosh, the view is so much better over here. It's so much more colorful. Look at the beauty. So now you're looking to the right. This is the right way for you to look at. This is the right place for you to put your focus. Your conscious mind is like a light. It's like a floodlight. And when a floodlight is on, it sheds light everywhere. Without discrimination, without choice, without selection. It's your job to decide how I'm going to focus my laser beam. I'm going to take all that light, I'm going to focus it like a laser beam. Straight ahead. This is what I want. That's how you are going to manifest health. That is how you're going to manifest wealth. That's how you manifest. I'm scratching my ankle because there are mosquitoes here and they're biting me as I talk to you, but I don't care because I'm going to get this message to you no matter what. So the bottom line is this: as you focus your conscious awareness, that is how you manifest. You take your focus, your conscious awareness, your free will, and you focus it like a laser beam. And now when you're relaxed and awake, which is part of the formula of creating, of manifesting, of being effective in meditation, meditation is just knowing yourself. So as soon as you have the thought, oh, I can't do this, everybody else can do this but me, or I'm not doing the breath right, or I'm not getting relaxed enough, or I'm in too much pain, or blah, 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 wah, 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 wah. How many of you watched the Peanuts character? You have the teacher going, wah, 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 wah. That's ego. Ego's going, no! You can't change. You gotta listen to us. You can't. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You're not smart enough. You're too fat. You're too short. You're too big. You're too ugly. You're too this. You're too. Shut up. Ego, time out. Brain, do as I say. And then you assume that the command is given. It has to obey you because it's your free will. Now you take your conscious awareness and like a laser beam, You relax yourself head to toe as you focus on your breath. You slow down your breath, slow down your heart rate, slow down your brain waves, and then you go into the 5D quantum realm. All that means is you go into the black velvety void. If you don't like the color black, you go into the white velvety void, and your light becomes one with that light. If you go into the black velvet void, still your light becomes one with the one. You are the one. And there, with a pure intention, you have a clear intention, you add elevated emotion of love, of appreciation and gratitude, because appreciation, gratitude, and love are the ultimate states of receivership. And then you upload it to 5D and you let it go. Okay, I could go on all day long talking about this. This video is supposed to be a relatively short video, not a very long video, but I just wanted to share this with you guys, my friends and gems. I just want to thank you for tuning in, for tapping in and turning on to this video today. And let me know what you think. Let me know what your comments are. If you need a coherence healings are free. Not everybody can afford to be one-on-one with my private sessions. I'm booked till April right now. I'm doing the best I can to schedule people in. There is a wait list, and so I'm taking people in the order that they come. I understand that some people have emergent situations, so that's why I do a lot of this stuff for free. Whoever I can get in terms of coherence healing, either with myself being the host coherence healer, or with one of the other groups that I do coherence healing in. The number one thing is to get you in so that you get the healing that you're seeking, that you're needing. And hopefully you don't need a one-on-one with me. And so let me know in the comments below how I can help you. Know that in the coherence healing playlists on my YouTube channel, you can tune in and tap into that energy that I've done for others, and that you could receive a healing. I have reports back of people who did exactly that, and now they are healed. So you can tap into that. You need to know that you can, in fact, do that, okay? So that's it. I think I'm just feeling the love right now, and I just want to thank you for being here, right now, and honoring yourself and co-creating this moment with me. And for those of you who have already taken the step to order the Intuition Manifesto, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And for those of you who are about to order the Intuition Manifesto, there's some little surprises that are going out with the Intuition Manifesto, and even with the Creating Customers for Life book. So I'm very excited about that as well. So you take care. And as always, ciao for now, my friends and my gems. All right, bye-bye now.